I just want to go to you, Nigel, with coronavirus. I've argued relentlessly here in Australia about the utterly disproportionate response to coronavirus, where over 99% of all cases are mild. There is no epidemiological justification for lockdowns or social distancing. Now, you've had protests all over Europe last Saturday and thousands on the streets calling for civil liberties protections. Where do you see this heading?
I think we're in for a very long, dark winter because, OK, there are some vaccines that have arrived on the scene, but the sheer logistics of getting vaccines out in a very, very large scale has got to be, I would think, at least 6 to 9 months away. I see governments across the Western world obsessed with dealing with this virus, and they're forgetting the cost to unemployment. Absolutely. They're forgetting the cost to private enterprise, but they're also forgetting the health cost. Do you know, in this country, in England, lung cancer diagnoses are down 75% this year. Serious heart condition diagnosis, down 60%. Basically, nobody with type 1 diabetes has been screened by the National Health Service.
Absolutely.
More people will die because we kept our hospitals open, waiting for a coronavirus surge that will die from this virus. And the average age of those that have died in Britain of COVID or with COVID is 82 years and 3 months.
Same here. Exactly the same here. 83 years of age. Do you think, I know you made this comment, do you think the country's made up, half of them made up their mind, they've got no confidence in the way the government's doing things? Like here, half the country don't know the rules, they're living their own lives.
Look, any pretense that here in this country that we're obeying to the letter of the law, what we're supposed to do, depending which region we live in and which complex tier we've been put in. No, people are making up their own judgments as to what level of risk to take, as to how they can live their lives. The trouble is, in much of the country, the pubs are closed. So we haven't even got that for a bit of relief.
I've got to ask you one thing before you go, because you're very bright, but I'll ask you a question that you can't answer. I noticed this tier stuff in Britain, and they're now being told that, quote, the exact words, households will be banned from mixing indoors. Mr. Farage, could you please tell me what that means?
It means you can't invite your mates around for a cup of tea. It means if you live in a tier 3 region, nobody is allowed to cross your threshold. And there's going to be a brief relaxation over Christmas, apparently. Well, isn't that nice of them? Yes. I mean, who said government owns Christmas? 350 years ago, we had a Puritan government under Oliver Cromwell in this country, and they tried to ban the celebration of Christmas and to control our lives and to stop music and dancing and drinking and merriment. And here we are with another Puritan government who think they have the ability and the right to control our lives. And I'll make this one prediction. If you think you've seen protests all over Europe in the last few weeks, wait for the middle of January. January always is the most difficult, miserable month of the year. By that time, there will be huge numbers of people out of work. Oh, by the way, nobody in the public sector. No. Because if you work for government, this is great. You can sit at home and drink beer, knowing your job's protected, knowing your pension will be fine. Absolutely. I think by the time January comes, you're going to see a lot more anger in the UK and the rest of Europe.
And people, I really do. Good on you, Nigel. Listen, thank you for all you do. We must talk more often. Have a wonderful Christmas, good health, much happiness. Lovely to talk to you.
Thank you, Adam.
There is Nigel Farage.